All right, folks, I'm supposed to be on Christmas vacation right now, but the new Superman trailer dropped last week, and I have waited as long as I possibly could to check it out. So here we go. This is James Gunn's Superman 2025 official teaser trailer.
But first, like, subscribe, comment, click the bell for notifications, check out my new music video and single, Outlive My Life, wherever you get your music. Consider supporting us on Patreon for exclusive perks. It's really cheap. And subscribe to Words Like That Arts and Media Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, now shut up and get to it.
All right. Got any action there? Okay. Obviously lost a fight. Okay, there's this Clark Kent look. Okay, Lois. Is that Jonathan? Whistler for crypto. All right. That's halfway point. Let me stop it right there so I can get this on YouTube without having to go through hoops here. Okay, so teaser trailer is 2 minutes long, which is a little bit longer than I was expecting, but at the same time, we're halfway through and we haven't really gotten anything, haven't gotten much anything, but it is a teaser, so that's fine. So far, in terms of the cinematography, it is well directed, which we know that James Gunn is a talented director. The first Guardians of the Galaxy film, I think, one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. As far as my fandom, I'm more Marvel anyway. I always have been before it was even cool to like comic books and superheroes. So I'm not particularly attached to a lot of the DC stuff one way or another, except for Batman. I do love Batman. I like Superman. He's not one of my favorite superheroes of all time. So I'm willing to pretty much give any iteration of him a chance, any version of the film. Again, we haven't got much here, but I like the look of it. I'm not 100% sold on the look of David Cornsweet, who I've only seen in one film, and that was Twisters. And he has the height that I think would be good for a live-action Superman, but he doesn't have the thickness, and a lot of the modern-era Supermen have not. I think of Brandon Routh. I think of the guy who plays him on Superman and Lois. Can't even think of that actor's name. I haven't watched that series. They're a little bit smaller framed as opposed to like Christopher Reeve, or even going back to the 50s, George Reeves, Tom Welling, even. But if he's able to perform the part well, you can give the lack of beefiness a pass. But so far, I'm intrigued. It looks well shot. Let's finish this. Crypto, okay.
Crypto. Home. Take me home.
Okay, Nicholas Holt selects. Got to see him. Nice. Great actor.
Superman.
Okay, I don't know that is. All right, Hawk Girl. Oh, the original theme from the Christopher Reeve version. Again, I don't know the source material well enough to know who all these villains are, characters. Yeah. Okay. All right. So obviously they're intentionally trying to get away from the Zack Snyder version of the Man of Steel Superman, the Henry Cavill, who I actually think was a great Superman. I think he performed the part well. It wasn't necessarily your grandpa's Superman or even your dad's Superman. It was more of a dark, brooding take. And there's an argument that that's not the Superman character, and it shouldn't have been that. But since it was, Henry did a great job with that role, and he also had that physicality. He had more of that beefiness I was talking about earlier that Superman looked. But he was not a hopeful character, which is what Superman has historically been. I see that James Gunn and company here are really trying to take us back to that hopefulness. And I've heard that the Superman and Lois version also does that. Again, I haven't watched that, but I think there's been enough of a backlash on the dark, brooding version of Superman because Batman, dark, brooding Batman, that's fine. That's the character. Superman, not as much. I really like the brightness of the film, the hopefulness of the score, of the scenes we've seen here of him being heroic. The only thing I saw, he was walking into a building, there was a crowd, somebody throwing stuff at him. That looked a little bit more like maybe something from the Snyderverse. Not sure what that scene was about. Nicholas Hoult as Lex, great actor. He looked the role, he got the nice shaved head, unlike the Jesse Eisenberg. Again, compared to the Snyder cut, that character was not Lex at all. It was a totally different interpretation. The additional characters, because I'm not a Superman nut, I don't know who they are. I've seen the Justice League animated series with my oldest daughter a few years ago. We watched that. That's the first time I'd watched this. Not something that I grew up on. That was past the time of me growing up watching cartoons. And some of those maybe look like some of the characters I remember from Justice League. And I've recently started watching some of the old 90s Superman cartoon that I missed as a kid with my son, but I'm not familiar enough to be able to point out who that was on the screen. We saw all these different characters. So somebody let me know in the comments who some of these villains were or characters that obviously the fans are supposed to recognize, and I didn't. But yeah, I gotta tell you, that looked really good. Again, very hopeful, joyful, even the appearance of Crypto, which you think is almost would be kind of a laughable comedic thing. Oh, Crypto the Superdog. I know they just did an animated kids version featuring Crypto here a couple of years ago. And you would think, okay, this is kind of a jokey element, but the way they incorporated it in here, at least in the scenes they showed in the trailer, it had some dramatic weight to it. And Superman was obviously in dire circumstances. He was calling the dog to come rescue him, which was really wholesome. Yeah, I dug this all the way around. Didn't know what to expect, really, because, again, not the biggest Superman fan. Was not a huge fan of the Snyderverse. I've also not really been a huge fan of James Gunn post Guardians 1. Guardians of 1 was great. And then for me, Guardians 2 was like, eh. And I've yet to see Guardians 3. I know. But I was impressed. And so far, I'm going to say I will be checking this out in theaters. What about you? What did you think about that trailer? Are you sad to have seen the Snyderverse go and now it's being rebooted again, replaced with the James Gunn version? Or are you ready for it to go? Did you never like it? Or you just thought, hey, okay, that's over. I liked it, but let's see something else. Let us know in the comments.
Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you did, consider supporting us on Patreon. Subscribe to YouTube if you hadn't already, and we'll see you soon.